Tel Aviv, 1 week after the worst massacre in Israeli history. We're at a rally held to support the families of hostages kidnapped by Hamas. A show of unity as attendees sing the national anthem. But it's an illusion quickly shattered by deep-seated differences.
I will not shut up! You are talking bullshit! No, you're talking bullshit! You are talking bullshit! IDF is the most humanitarian army in the world!
Bombing houses and killing people inside their homes!
2005!
What are you talking
Israel
about?
gave back...
Yale's angry and insists it's everyone's duty to rally behind Benjamin Netanyahu's government.
Please, we beg you, cry to your leaders to pressure the Hamas to send the children and the families home. There's nothing else that you could do right now. Once they're here, we can settle all the differences.
This is the same street where, for 10 months, protesters have rallied against the government's plans to reform the judiciary. Now, some here are even daring to point the finger of blame at Israel for the October 7th massacres.
We've never known a situation like this in Israel. It's our second Holocaust. Look what's got us here. Of course, Hamas are awful. They're animals. But it's the occupation. 57 years of occupation that has led us to where we are today.
That kind of opinion from the political far left is rarely heard in peacetime, and for many, simply unimaginable in the midst of war. We leave Tel Aviv and head north to Israel's third largest city. 12% of Haifa's population is Arab, which makes it officially a mixed city. The state often touts it as a model of coexistence, but the reality is far more complex.
We're here today because everywhere you look there are messages of violence and hate. Some people are trying to stir up conflict between the Jews and the Arabs who live here.
Standing Together was created in 2015 during an upsurge in violence that became known as the Stabbing Intifada. At first, its aim was to counter hate and bloodshed. Now the NGO's roughly 5,000 members, Jews and Arabs, work to promote social justice and harmony between Israel's communities.
We also fight against the occupation and war. Today we're calling for more solidarity and for Jews and Arabs to work together. We're all hit by this situation. Jews and Arabs who live here are deeply affected by the war. We must work together if we're ever to achieve peaceful coexistence.
2 weeks after the start of the war, activists are sticking up posters calling for peace in both Hebrew and Arabic, which was axed as an official language back in 2018. There's no mention of the bombing of Gaza, nor the building of settlements in the West Bank. These youths say they're too risky to bring up.
We're living in a political climate which hinders freedom of expression. Nowadays, we ostracize not only Palestinians, but Jews too, whenever they call for solidarity between Jews and Arabs.
Sally Abed is a Palestinian with Israeli citizenship. She says the massacres of October 7th have made her community an object of suspicion.
The current situation has ripped Arab and Israeli society apart, and there's a total split. So we're automatically the enemy. You're the enemy until you prove your loyalty to the State of Israel. Don't forget that the violence leveled at us comes from a state apparatus that's never been as repressive and racist as it is now. The situation is extremely serious. We're very worried.
Her concerns are driven partly by results at the polls. As hardliners gain ground, moderate voices like Israel's Labour Party have been decimated. We return to Tel Aviv, where we're meeting the head of the party.
I wish I could reassure anyone, Can Israelis be reassured that they are safe in their own country, both Jews and Arabs?
In Israel's current climate, few politicians dare speak out about harmony between Jews and Arab Israelis. Those who do, like Merav Mikhaeli, weigh their every word.
I wouldn't call it coexistent. It's a shared existence. We exist here together. And even when times are very, very tough, we realize that. And we are, I do believe, part of the same people. Now we have to fix everything. So the politics really does manifest and serves what the majority of Israelis want.
But for now, it's the fight against Hamas that's at the forefront of people's minds here. And those whose struggle is for peaceful coexistence have had their voices drowned out by the drumbeat of war.